4th. It is 12:28 on 11/7. I'm going to do a quick midday video update for everyone. Hope everyone's feeling well. My name is Scott Rudler, Chief Strategic Officer at T3Live.com. Welcome to today's midday recap or midday report or midday video, whatever you want to call it. It's my follow-up to my morning call. If you remember Rudler All Access, you always get a morning call video somewhere around 8:30, and that's after I wrote my full note that started at 4:45 in the morning and pretty much right around when I post my 14 to 20 charts. That's what they call Rudler All Access. That's what I do every day, Monday through Thursday, to prepare all my subscribers on different scenarios on how to participate, how to hold, how to trade, how to use so many different tactics to hopefully make money and stay in this business. I've been in this business since 1998, so I've created a process and a routine that's worked for me, so I try and teach it to everyone else. As far as the market's concerned, we had a gap up. We've held. Some stocks are acting better than others. You know, the names that we've been long, some of them have been doing really well. Some of them are still kind of incubating, and some of them have been lagging. But, you know, when you're holding 6 to 10 positions, it's good. You don't want them all going at the same time because it's hard to catch additional moves based on chart patterns. As far as the S&P, let's just get to it. Here's the S&P. What a nice trend. You know, I talk about portfolio approach. I talk about tactical approach. When we're above the 21 day, I try as an active trader that trades for a living, not my investments that you put money in every single month and you hopefully do it for 10, 20, 30, 40 years for your retirement or for your kids' education. This is different. This is to trade for a living. You can also hold a portfolio approach and use it to make money from the market when it's trending versus just overly trading. So anyway, right here, that was that spot. You know, we were consolidating, we were wedging at the downtrend line, boom, gapped above it, held above it, and then since then at 29.62, yes, that was over 100 handles ago in, I think, October 11th, 12th. Then we've been above the 8 days since. Lots of ways to add, lots of ways to sell strength, lots of ways to find new positions, and all of a sudden today we hit a high of 3,097. Just like that. So if you want to ask yourself, oh, how did this happen with, you know, IMF saying the world markets are slowing down? Oh, the Fed had to lower rates 3 times. Why are we here? You know, sometimes you don't need to ask the question why. You just follow the trends and use the price action and use your skill sets. All in all, we've been in this range, you know, for pretty much since July that we just broke above it. And we did it with a breakout retest, and now here we are. So with that said, there's been lots to do. And then if you even go further back, you know, this, you know, if you want to connect from this spot, like we really just broke out over a 2-year range almost. But anyway, I'm not going to get into all that. Let's just talk about today and continue to go over a few different situations that I've tweeted to the public Twitter sphere as well as what I've been focusing on at Rudler All Access. If you remember 1 week ago, I did a video on Apple, had almost 10,000 views. I wish all 80,000 people watched it and used it to their advantage because we talked about how Apple earnings were behind us. It was very solid. If it's going to be any good, there were a few things that had to happen. Okay, let's get right to it. Here's Apple. Apple was right here on this day right there. Okay, this is 2-day pull and a little bit of a shake-up right before earnings, which was good for sentiment. I even tweeted that. On this day, it broke above 245, which was the prior high. I said you buy Versat or buy Versa 5, 15, 30-minute low. And you never got stopped out. And then on Friday, I listed 2 different charts saying, hey, if we can get above 249.25 to 249.75, that's your ad. And then last Friday, everyone was like, oh my God, well, this is crazy. It wasn't crazy. It was technical, and it was basically strategic. And anyway, and if you remember Rudler All Access or watch the VTF, you had the confidence to stay long with me. So anyway, on this day, I believe I got pretty flat or flattish and then went sideways for 2 days. And yesterday I tweeted, I said, hey, I'm back in Apple. It took 2 days to see if it would come in, if it would hit the 8th day, never did, went sideways. So back in Apple. Today, a little bit of a move above. It's actually even up more probably if you do it for the ex-dividend. And, you know, here is the language. Every single day of the last 22 years, I think I've posted some kind of chart on Apple with a technical plan. Sometimes when it's above the 8th day, like it was since here, you could be long it and you could swing it and whatnot. Or sometimes, you know, back here, I'm not even going to get back there. When it's below it, you look for some red dog reversals or some H cell setups to short, or you avoid it and wait for better action. So anyway, here's where we are. Another name I'm focusing on is Microsoft. Microsoft, woohoo, look how juicy this looks. To me, a perfect bull flag. I've been in it since here. Okay, after earnings, what I like to do is I like to buy it versus an earnings gap pivot. So if it holds it, it means strength, it means commitment, and then that's my calculated risk. So I bought it this day, added that day, and my stop was right here. Did it trigger below it? No. And then I actually had a little lady luck when Microsoft won the contract. And then now it's been going sideways, and it's been a little lethargic. This morning I actually bought more. There was some kind of sell program in the first minute. I have no idea what that was going on there. And now where is it? It's I think it's 144.70. All right, so we'll see what happens here. 144. What's the price? 144.69. I would think at some point it breaks above 145 and 145.67 and gets to 150 plus. And hopefully I'm sitting at my desk when that volume spike happens and I could get to a tier 2 or a tier 3 for that breakout. So you want a little thought process on the tier system? Let me tell you, because some of you guys are always like, Red Dog, what's the tier system? So anyway, in here, when you're buying verse, just say 142.65, which is this gap, you're in like a tier 1. Each day, if in the open it's come in a little bit, like 50 cents, you buy a little bit more, it comes back to green, you get out of that, you make some cash flow. You're in tier 1 as it's going sideways. Sideways in here, if you were holding tier 2 or tier 3, you probably wouldn't be able to sit in it. But if you hold tier 1, you know what? You're in good shape. The tier 2 or tier 3 is when it triggers above 145 and holds it, has a big volume spike, and you think it's going to get to 145.67, which is this pivot, and then you think it's going to get to 146 plus. And typically on breakouts like that, it happens fast. So it's in motion, so you're in a bigger tier than when you're just sitting, because you're not comfortable when you're just sitting and it's going back and forth. It's hard to hold. So it's in motion and the trade triggers. That's when you get more. And then when it gets to one of your spots, you reduce, gets to another spot, you reduce, and then you get back to your tier 1 and continue the swing trade. That's what I've been doing with Tesla. So let me show you what I mean. Tesla, wow, what a fantastic post-earnings trade. It was actually a great pre-earnings trade calculated. You guys remember here? Everyone wasn't talking about Tesla. Musk wasn't tweeting or smoking or doing whatever Musk did back in here. And I bought the calls, the 275, sold the 290s, made 500-600%. But anyway, that was this. So I had options for that. And then, here's your post earnings move. So this is another strategy to learn. Held here. So I was long Versat and then took out the post earnings high. Bought this. I do remember it. Made nice money. On this day, I kind of got out. And then I was like, let me see if Tesla will prove to hang in there. Prove to go sideways. Prove to what I call become special. I like to hold special names. So anyway, on this day, I remember I bought it back after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, let the 8-day catch up. I'm like, let me get back in Tesla. It's been good. We could be a buyer verse 309. So verse 309. So you're in tier 1, meaning you're holding it versus a level, waiting for it to trigger above a level so you could add to it for motion. So this day, it didn't happen. Okay, so I'm still in tier 1. And then yesterday, it traded above 323.51. Closed strong on the highs of the day. That's when you get into a tier 2 or tier 3, more than when you're sitting in here waiting for it to settle out. And then today, pre-market was up 5 or 6. You sell some, and then it continued to run. And unfortunately, I sold my last shares around 337-ish, and it went a little higher. And now I figured maybe I could be cute and buy it back at this point. I might have to watch it close and gets above the post earnings high or the reactionary high, whatever you want to call it. It could go again. That would be pretty, big. I was hoping it would come here and then relax a little bit. I could buy it back, let the moving averages catch up, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. If you look at the 1 day, it just kind of held this entire thing here too. So if just say you go into the gym, okay, I'm going to the gym, okay, and you want to say, hey, I think this thing takes out 341 and goes to 345. In my head, I would think, okay, that could happen, but it shouldn't break this 337. So you could buy it here with a stop there, go to the gym, and then, hey, maybe you're on the treadmill and all of a sudden when your buddy texts you, says, hey, Tesla's 344. That's happened to me. Or, hey, something came out, it broke 337, you're out. Okay, that's happened also. Anyway, looks like it's on the move right now still. This has been fantastic. I posted the chart 3 days ago. Keep it on your radar in the public Twitter sphere, and I think a lot of people made money there, so I'm happy for you. That's good. That's nice. Anyway, let's move on. Amazon's a pain in the tuchus. Um, it's just sitting in here. I guess if you have multiple positions, you're not over focusing on Amazon, you could be in it with a stop at 1788. Um, you know, I was in it from here. Today, I sold it when it broke that 1801. And I might revisit, I might not. You know, to me, it's just lagging. But I think it'll wake up. But that's an opinion. It's only an opinion until I see something different. I probably should still be in it. I might even put it back on in the afternoon and give myself some more space. You know, the other focus was Google. Wow. Last night, tells you that we're a little, what's the word, a lesson. You should turn your phone off at night. I was 6 o'clock. I had long Google, and all of a sudden, a bunch of my friends like, "Hey, did you see that? Google board of directors is looking into, you know, sexual misconduct or this or that." And then I saw another piece of news. I'm like, "Oh, my Google's going to be down $10, $15. I better be careful." So I'm thinking about it at night. So that changed my mentality on it. So then all of a sudden I came in the morning, and the futures were up, and it was one of my 7 positions. I'm like, oh, it's up $5, $6. I'm like, let me just get out of the way, and I'll revisit. If it breaks above 1300, I'll buy it, and I just want to make sure. I don't want to get caught with a leg sweep. It's been a very good month, and all I know is last time I had 7 or 8 positions into the Maccabi games. If you remember that in May, and then Trump's tweet happened, it took back a lot of the month and the quarter, and I just didn't want to do that. So anyway, I got out of it a little bit too fast. That was Google's, and look what happened with Google. It was like the cleanest trade out there. What a friggin' clean trade through 1300. That's exactly what I was looking for. And this is the way I put it in the Brother All Access private Twitter sphere, probably around 8:30. I give you a scenario. Okay, first of all, you see the chart, you see the levels, and I say Google acts well, which it does. It's above the 8-day moving average. It's been above it. It held 1250 since earnings, and the earnings weren't even spectacular. See if there was some news, which is what happened. See if it affects the stock. It did not. And if it can take out 1297 to 1300, the big area, typically that's your tier 2 or that's your breakout trade. So that's what happened here. I missed it. I was too focused on Amazon and Apple and all those other things, which are fine. I made good money there. But the one thing that would have been better is buying Google versus adding to Amazon. I added to Amazon, and then Amazon came in, and then became a pain in the tuchus. But anyway, it still looks strong. Look at this. It's a 322. What a nice breakout. Good job, Google. Facebook, I'm not doing much with. It's just sitting here. It kind of looks like an Amazon. It's giving me no reason. You could probably sit in it versus slow, but it'll maybe drain some brain power, so no need for that. Netflix, what's it called? Citron came out and said they're going to hold on to it until the fourth quarter. If you believe that, I have a bridge to sell you. They probably bought it in here and sold it. I don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. Anyway, it looks better. It's above the moving averages. Just be careful with prices. It went $5 and then came in $4, and now it's back to where it was prior to Citron. But anyway, it is acting a little bit better. Those of you guys who like to play post-earnings moves like a Roku and look for a 15-minute low, wow, did you guys get rewarded. I put a level out there this morning and said, guys, watch this 117-ish area. Went to 116 off by $1, and look what Roku did. Wow. Came right to the support and gave you a nice move off of it. So it was a better buy than sell, and you could use your 5 or 15-minute low. So I'll do a quick little lesson on that before I go. So what I mean is sometimes you put a low in after 5 minutes, and you could buy versus that, and that's your calculated risk for some kind of trade, because this was pretty emotional. Sometimes it breaks that 5-minute low, and then you tried it, you get out, you lose a little bit of money, and then the next time you try a 15-minute low, because maybe there's more time for mutual funds to start buying it or whoever, and then that one sticks, and then you make back what you lost against the 5-minute low, and then you make it on the 15-minute low, and it goes. You never know when it's truly going to go. So anyway, you go to your one-day chart here, and this was this morning, so we'll see when the low happened. So this was your this was 933. This was your 3-minute low. So if you bought and you said, I'm not going to get out unless it breaks the 3-minute low, here you had your first move, wasn't able to get in the gap. Here, didn't break it. That is your 3-minute low. And then here you almost had a double bottom, and then this was a bit of a higher low. Okay, so now the 3-minute low is still holding, and now you have a higher low into your 15-minute low and then another higher low, and then here's when, you could have had your nice juicy ad when it got into the post gap earnings, the post, whatever you want to call it, like it's the gap down resistance pivot, which is right here. So you're in, just say like we said, the tier system. Maybe you're in tier 1 here and like, I don't want to touch it because I'll overtrade it. Okay. Or maybe you're in here because you said, hey, I'll give it here versus there, and it didn't break it. So then right in here when it's getting a little coiled up, that could have been your tier 2, sold some, retested, and then look at that. That's a nice trade, where you're not involved for earnings because you never take stock into earnings. Maybe options where there was an opportunity to buy versus a 3-minute low or a 17-minute low with the plan as higher lows got made and then went into the gap. Cash flow, net money. These are tactics. It's not even a swing trade. This is just a day trading tactic. You could use many of them as a professional trader. So let's go in conclusion. Because I got to get going, let's go back to the Qs. What are the Qs doing? Coming off a little bit here. Not that bad. Big gap up, held the 8-day. In conclusion, there's been a lot to do. And listen, if you listen to the headlines and you listen to all these people who play a trader on TV, they could definitely throw you off. I am on TV once a week, but I don't play a trader. I actually am a trader, and that's how I make a living. But I'm also the chief strategic officer, and I get up real early so I can put together my game plan and my ideas and my just everything on paper for other traders like yourself that might need some idea generation and might need a community to help you stay involved. I also have my VTF where the traders get to watch my trades live so they could see me hold them for multiple days, which might help them hold it for multiple days. Or they'll see a new position come up and then they can look at the chart and say, hey, why is Red Dog in this now? He wasn't in this yesterday. And then he looks at the note, there's a strategy, there's a price, it triggers, and hey, that's why. So lots of ways you could use the product to make you money and give you longevity. And there are a lot of people like me out there. So if you are struggling, find someone that you think you could trust, and hopefully you could trust me because what you see is what you get, and learn the process, because you can't just do exactly what I do and make money. You have to know why, so you can understand it with confidence, like anyone. I will throw some fish in the boat, which is always nice. Everyone likes a free fish in the boat, but you learn how to fish, you don't need me to throw it in the boat. You could actually fish on your own. So with that said, it's Thursday. I hope everyone's having a good week. Take some care out there. I'm going to do the recap, but that'll be for other all access. And tomorrow I'll trade from Short Hills, and I'll send you guys the S&P chart, which I tend to give you guys every day, just to give you a quick little blueprint of the day. But if you want 14 to 20 names with an actionable plan, then you got to step it up and come join the service. I wish you the best. Have a good day.